What's going on today, guys? Today I'm going to be installing some lights into my new enclosure. Get it ready to fill it up. I'm going to be using, again, the T5 high output with the 10.0 bulb. A lot of people don't know or pay attention that when you buy the fixture, it comes with a light, but the light that's inside of there is 5.0, not 10.0. So if you need if you have an animal that need a 10.0, make sure that you buy the extra light to go inside of it. And I have the light fixture for the heat lamps, and then the wiring for those. I'm gonna be piggybacking, so I have two wires here. So I'm just gonna use one of these to piggyback to each other, and then one that's gonna be going out to the wall. And this will have a separate hole as well. So it's gonna be two total holes I have to put in the back of the enclosure. I don't even know the size of the wire on here. Let's see. I'm gonna be using these snips here to strip the wires. I don't have any wire cutters. Or I have some, but I don't know where they are. So I'm just gonna use these. I got this drill bit. It'll be good enough for these wires to make a hole that I can squeeze that wire through without making too big of a hole. Let's see here. This one has the wire that's already assembled, so I'm gonna have to make a big hole on that end to get it through the back of the enclosure. So I gotta get another drill bit. And if you get a UV fixture, make sure there's no plastic covering the light bulb. This one doesn't have a light bulb, it has a reflector in it, so it's pretty good. I'm gonna take this light bulb out. I'm gonna drill directly through the fixture. There's no wires or anything. There's no wires or anything in this section of the fixture. So once you take the light bulb out, you can drill straight through the reflector. I'm gonna take the reflector out as well, and then drill straight through the fixture, and then put the reflector back. Then the new light bulb, the 10.0. So first, let me strip these wires and get them set up to go for the light bulbs. I want the light bulbs to be probably 10 inches apart. So I'm gonna cut this probably 12 inches. Then I like to just slice right in between them so I can get a head start on splitting the ends. Then I'll just go in about half an inch, maybe a little bit more, 3/4 inch. Then slightly crimp around it so you won't go all the way through, and then just slide the excess off. These not sharp enough. There we go. If you see any sticking out longer, I like to clip those off and make it completely even. The wire, the bare wire, so they have a better attachment when you connect them. And to make sure the copper is fresh on the tips. And these were just extension cords. I just cut the head off of it and used the plug side to modify. So I'm going to do that to both ends. And then these have screws on the back. You're gonna loosen the screws up. These are previously used, I just took them out. Had a little old copper wire on there. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. There you go. And it's not gonna matter the silver or the copper one, because this wire is gonna be the same on both sides. Currently got my, let me go get the battery off my charger. Okay, so I got my drill. Make that as tight, squeeze. I like to twist those as tight as possible to make it like one solid piece. So when I wrap it around the screw, it doesn't fray. And you're gonna want to wrap it the same way that the screw spins, for the same reason, to prevent it from spreading out when you. It's gonna spread out a little bit anyway, but it stops it from spreading out so much. And I'll do the same thing to this side. Then I'm going to take the longer of the two cords and do the same thing to the end. Again, you just lightly squeezing so you won't go all the way through. Cut the very tip of those copper wires off, because this has been sitting like this for a while, so the ends are probably compromised. Again, twisting it to make it like one single piece, or close as one piece if you can. like that. Then you're gonna put this and this both on the same ones, like that. That way this end goes out. But first I have to drill a hole in the back of the enclosure, feed this through, and then connect it. Because if I do it now, I have to put another big hole to fit that through the back of the enclosure. So what I'm going to do is take the glass out so I have all the room to work with and set it to the side for right now. And when you get glass like this, all you do is lift it. You lift it up. You still have a problem. Supposed to just be able to lift it up and slot the bottom out. Let me see. The panel's not coming out like I planned. It's a screw in there that I'm bumping up against, that's the reason why. So I gotta avoid the screw and then I can take it out. So what I'm gonna do is slide this all the way to the right. And then move the back one first. And it comes right up. And then these ones gonna be easy to take out of there. So I'm gonna take the bit and go as high as I can with the drill comfortably and go straight through. There it is, very minimal hole right there. Very minimal. And then what I'm gonna do is come to the opposite side and feed the longer string through the hole. And squeeze it through. Might have to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'll make it a little bit bigger by putting the same drill bit in, just wiggle it around a little bit. Should be good enough. Let's see. Very tight fit, but I feel like I can pull it through. It's coming through now. I'm gonna pull it long enough just so I can work with it at a comfortable level. So I'm gonna pull it all the way out of the cage and work with it on top of the cage. So now I have it the wire ran through now, and I can work with it at and on the wires, there's one that has writing on it and one don't. I'm gonna put the ones that have the writing on them together. And the one that has the writing is can you see it? So you twist both ends together on both sides. The same way you did the singles. And then over the bare screws and where the wire's sticking out, you're gonna want to get some electrical tape and cover those very well, because electricity always go to the place of least resistance, which will always be at a connection. So if you don't do this, the electricity is going to be most likely going there and connecting to your wood. So you want to make sure you cover those well. I always put a couple each way and then one over the full thing. And that way, if the electricity is coming there, it won't cause a fire. So that's why I put a good layer of the electric on top of it, electrical tape on top of it. Okay, once you get it all taped up, you'll be ready to set it up. Tripod just broke. So bear with me. Okay, so I got them both put up in there. Now let's go to the back side and pull the cord out. Okay, and instead of making a bigger hole for this outlet, what I'm gonna do is push this out, cut a hole in there so it's big enough for the cord, and then feed it through that way. It was silicone, then I already popped it out previously to make it a little bit easier to film. So what I'm gonna do is cut a notch in here like a V, and that'll be big enough for the cord to fit through. Okay, what I did so far was I used the snips to cut an angle on both of those sides and on the lip right here, and then I snapped it backwards. Like that. Now I'm gonna continue to pull that off. Alright, now I got the V cut in there. Now I'm gonna fit it in the hole and see how it looks, and if it looks like the wire can fit through or not. Okay, there we go. Probably made it a little bit too big, but it's better than a hole in the back of the container, because I can always get a new vent and cut it better later. But now I'm gonna take this light bulb out. Okay, so this is a bit I'm going to be using to pre-drill the fixture. I'm not going all the way through, I'm just going to use the tip here, because that's about the same size of the screw. So I probably go halfway. Probably only go halfway to that tip part, just so the screw won't go all the way through the hole, and it has something to hang on to. And what I did was I propped the fixture up a little bit with using the pliers, so that when I drill, it won't go through to the wood. So I won't have to do it on the floor. And I'm not doing any special measurements or anything. I'm just going to try to do one on this end, one on that end, and one in the middle. The other drill bits will work a little bit better, but I didn't feel like going to find one. Also, another thing you want to do is you want to be sure that the screws that you're using to mount it to the top of the enclosure is not longer than the distance of the wood. So this one's going to be a little bit too long. So what I'm going to do is not screw it all the way in. I'm going to screw it probably, it'll be hanging about that much. And it's going to be a little bit of difference because of the width of the fixture that I'm going through as well. But I'm going to be conscious not to go all the way up without checking the top to see if it's going through or not. I decided to go with shorter screws. So instead of using this screw, I'm going to be using these screws to play it on the safe side. Because I don't want to go through the top of here from the bottom. Okay, I got it up there. But I switched it the opposite way. Because I didn't want the wire to be over there. Or the ballast to be over there by the heat. So I switched it to this side. So I'm going to have to take that vent over there that I modified and switch it to that vent. Which is no big deal. But that's it mounted. I'm going to go ahead and put the reflector back in. And put the 10.0 UVB. And then just need heat lamps. And fill it up with some decorations. Alright, got the reflector back in there. And the light bulb. And my buddy had a good idea of what to do with the 5.0 that these come with. Since we already paid for it and our lizards go to sleep in the winter, we just replace it in the winter with 5.0 because they're going to be hiding most of the time anyway and have less UVB, and then I give you longer life on the 10.0 bulb. So when the following year you can just swap it out and put the 10.0 back in, because these are good for about a year for the T5s. So it's fully installed. I just gotta get some heat bulbs and plug it up and fill it up with some decorations like I said before. And then I can put my dragon in there. I'm gonna plug it up and see how bright the light is. Okay, there it is, all lit up. It's gonna be a little bit more brighter when I put the other lights in. But pretty much it. It's all set up. It might get a little bit, this light might get a little bit brighter too. As the light bulb warms up. But I just want to show you guys how I wire the cages. And I'll show you again when I finally put some decorations in. But happy with it. Got a couple things I gotta fix and I don't have to get a new vent so it could be a little bit tighter fitting. I have to caulk the other one so it can be back in place because you can move it right now. So I need to stick that back in place, get the bowls, get some dirt and sand, get some rocks, and probably some slate tile. I'm gonna see if I can find some ledger stone or something like that and put inside. But it's pretty dark in here. I just close the garage door so we can see this. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit that like button. Have a good one.